Hello students, today I am going to start with the properties of determinants. To finding the value of determinant by expanding any row or column, we have already done that part. But today we will discuss what are the basic properties of determinant by which help us to find the values without expanding or in their transformation also. These properties are actually valid for the determinants of any order. So let us see what are the properties. The first property is if each entry in any row or each entry in any column of a determinant is 0, then the determinant value is equal to 0. For example, if you have this determinant, here we can see that each element, each entry of the second row is 0. So obviously its determinant value will be 0, because if we expand this determinant along this second row, that is R2, then every determinant is multiplied with 0, so its determinant value will be 0. So this is the first property, that but any row or any column, if each entry is 0, then its determinant value will obviously be 0. No need to find the determinant value. You can write directly this is equal to 0. The second property is if the rows be changed into columns and columns into rows, the determinant remains unaltered. Suppose this determinant is given. Now you are changing the rows into column. The first row 2 minus 1 3, write as first column. Second row 1 minus 2 4, write as the second column, and third row you are writing as third column. Then you can see that the determinant value of these two matrices are always same. The left hand side determinant, you can find this value is coming out as minus 16, and the right hand side, after changing its rows into columns, the determinant value, if we find, will come out as minus of 16. These two values are same. That means if we change the rows into columns, the determinant value will remain unchanged. Third property is if any two rows or columns of a determinant are interchanged, then resulting determinant is the negative of the original determinant. It means, suppose you are having this determinant A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Now, if you want to change the first column into the second and second column into the first, that means you are interchanging the position of C1 and C2. Then there will, the determinant value will get changed with a negative sign. That means for one interchanging of rows as well as column. That means whatever is true for rows, all properties are true for column also. That's why we always write any two rows or any two columns. Here we are showing that columns are interchanging, but if you change the rows, first R1 and R2, if you interchange its place, then there will be a negative sign with its value. Clear? So if the determinant value of uh, this is this, then if we, after changing the place of C1 and C2, the determinant value will be negative of this determinant. That means for one jump there is a negative sign. If two, um, there are second jump also, if you interchange this C2 in place of C3 and C3 in place of C2, then it means there are two jumps, then again one negative sign will come. So it will be minus 1 to the power square, that means positive 1. This will be positive of the determinant after interchanging. For example, suppose you have this determinant 1 2 minus 3 2 1 4 3 1 2. So first column is 1 2 3 and second column is 2 1 1. Clear? Now find the determinant value of this determinant. It is coming out as 17. Now just interchange C1 into C2. That means in place of C1 we will write C2, and in place of C2 we will write C1. After interchanging this C1 and C2, it will become 2 1 1 1 2 3 minus 3 4 2. Now if we find the value of this determinant, it will come out as negative of 17. So it is 17, it is negative of 17. So for one jump, that is for any interchanging between any two rows, there will be a negative sign with its value. And if there are two jumps, then again negative sign, then it will be positive. Next property is, if two rows or two columns in a determinant are identical, then the determinant is equal to 0. If in any determinant each entry of any two rows or two columns are same, this R1 and R3 are same, each entries are identical, so its determinant value will always come out as 0. Next property, if all the elements of any one row or column be multiplied by the same number, the determinant is multiplied by that number. What does it mean? Suppose this is a determinant, its value is delta, suppose. Now you are multiplying each entry of R1 with a constant with the same number, suppose K, and that determinant value is delta dash. That means delta dash is K A1, K B1, K C1. Each entry of R1 is multiplied with the same number K. So what will be the value of delta dash? It will be K times delta. That means you can take this K outside common and then write A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Its determinant value is delta. So delta dash is equal to K into delta. For example, suppose this is these are the entries of this determinant 1, 3, minus 1, 2, 1, 4, and this is 3 into 2, 3 into minus 1, 3 into 5. That means this C3, R3, in R3, each entry is multiplied with the same scalar 3. So this determinant value will be can be written as 3 into 1 3 minus 1 2 1 4 2 minus 1 5. Okay. So next property is property 6. If the element of a row or column of a determinant is expressed as the algebraic sum of k terms, the determinant can be expressed as the sum of k determinants. It means, suppose we have this matrix. This entry R1 is A1 plus alpha 1, B1 plus beta 1, C1 plus gamma 1. Second row are A2, B2, C2. Third row A3, B3, C3. Now this is a square matrix where each element in the first row of A is the sum of two elements, A1 plus alpha 1, B1 plus beta 1, C1 plus gamma 1. So this is the sum of two elements. Now its determinant value A will be equal to A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3 with positive sign. Okay, with positive sign due to this positive, plus alpha 1 A2 A3 beta 1 B2 B3 gamma 1 C2 C3. So the determinant value of this A can be written as the sum of the determinants of k terms. Here k means two terms. This is the sum of two terms. If this is the sum of more than two terms, if there is another term, suppose uh, alpha 3 beta 3 gamma 3, then it can be written as the determinant of a1 a2 a3 b1 b2 b3 c1 c2 c3, then alpha 1 a2 a3 beta 1 b2 b3 gamma 1 c2 c3, and then another term alpha 3 a2 a3 beta 3 beta 3 b2 b3 gamma 3 c2 c3. That means if each entry of a row or column is the sum of more than one term, then that their determinant value can be written as the sum of the determinant of that many terms. If it is the sum of two terms, then it can be written as the sum of two determinants. If there is sum of three terms, it can be written as the sum of three determinants. Now property 7. This is the last property. If each element of a row or column of a determinant is multiplied by same constant and then added to the corresponding elements of some other row or column, then the value of the determinant remains same. It means, suppose A is this matrix and B is another matrix which is of the form this A1 plus KB1, A2 plus KB2, A3 plus KB3, and these two add C2 and C3 entries are same. That means B is the matrix obtained from A. This matrix is obtained from A, but how it is obtained? First, you multiply each entry of C2 with K, and then you are adding those terms with the corresponding terms of C1. Okay. Then the determinant value of this A and B will remain unchanged. That means their value will remain same. That means you can multiply any row or any column with a same constant, and then you can add those terms with its corresponding terms of any other row or column. You can show it very easily. That means if this determinant is this, okay, we are going to find the determinant value of this matrix B. So determinant of B is right determinant of whole entry this. Now first here the first column C1 can be written as the sum of two determinants, because this is the sum of two terms. So you can write by the last property we have discussed, the property number 6. If each entry of the row or column is the sum of two terms, then we can write as the determinant of two sum of two determinants. So this determinant can be written like this also: A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3 plus K, B1, B2, B3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3 by the previous property. Now here we can use another property we have discussed here in the property 5. If each entry is multiplied with K, the determinant value will be K times A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Okay. So by property 5, we can write this determinant as K B1 B2 B3 C B1 B2 B3 and C1 C2 C3. And again, with the property we have already discussed, that if any two rows or column are identical, each entry of any two rows or columns are identical, then its determinant value will be equal to 0. So here C1 and C2 are identical. Here B1 B1, B2 B2, B3 B3. So these two C1 and C2 are identical, so its determinant value is 0. So we are remaining with this determinant only A1 B1 C1, A2 B2 C2, A3 B3 C3, and that is nothing but equal to the determinant of A. So determinant of B is equal to determinant of A. That means if this determinant is given, you can first multiply any row or any column in your convenience with any scalar, and with the same scalar you have to multiply each entry, and then you can add them with any other row or with any other column. The determinant value will remain same. Now these 7 property we will use in solving your uh, questions given in your exercise 1. And here you no need to expand the for any transformation. You have use this property for the transformation of determinants given in your exercise. First exercise, the first question. When you will do these questions, these properties will get clear very easily. Evaluate the following determinants using properties. Using property, that means don't find the determinant by expanding any rows or columns. Okay, just if it is mentioned that using properties, that means you have to use those 7 properties, whatever is applicable here, and then find the value of this determinant. So this is the first question. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is the determinant. Now you can see that this C2 and C3 and C3, in each entry the difference is 1. So we can write C2 as C2 minus C1 and C3 as C3 minus C2. This is the first transformation we are doing. We are changing the entries in second column and third column, but first column will remain same. So this is 1 4 7. Okay, now we are changing C2 as C2 minus C1. So write like this. C2 is getting changed as C2 minus C1. So C2 minus C1, that means 2 minus 1, 5 minus 4, 8 minus 7. That means corresponding term you have to subtract. So after changing this, C3 is getting changed as C3 minus C2. So 3 minus 2, 6 minus 5, 9 minus 8. Now you are having this determinant 1 4 7. C1 will remain same. Now here the entries are 1 1 1. C2 is 1 1 1. C3 is again 1 1 1. So by using the property 4, we can write if two rows C2 and C3 each entry are identical, so we can write directly this value will come out as 0. If you want to do another step, if you want to use the property 0 0 0, then also we can do that. There will be again one more step. If you change C3 as C3 minus C2, your third row will become 0. Each entry of third row will become a third column will become 0. So its value will come out 0. Second question. These are the entry. 2 minus 3, 4, 5, 1 minus 6, minus 7, 8, minus 9. Now take the operations as you change C1 as C1 plus C2 and C2 as C2 plus C3. Okay. So after doing this transformation, your matrix will become minus 1, C1 plus C2, that 2 minus 3, minus 1, 5 plus 1, 6, minus 7 plus 8, 1. Now C2 is getting changed as C2 plus C3, so minus 3 plus 4, 1, 1 minus 6 minus 5, 1, 8 minus 9, minus 1. Okay, so next step, if you change C1 as C1 plus C2, C1 plus C2, that is minus 1 plus 1, 0, 6 minus 5, positive 1, 1 minus 1, 0. So first column, the two entries are 0. Now you can expand it very easily along the first column. If you expand this determinant along the first column, there will be only one value, that is minus 1, that is due to its position it will be minus 1, and then just ignore the particular column and row. You are having minus 1 into minus 9, that is minus 9, and negative sign, and negative of 4 into minus 1, that is positive 4. So it will come out as positive 5. So we are using the properties just to make it simple. When our atom will be maximum 0, we can put in any rows or any column. So your approach may be different from this one, but try to do it by yourself. Just keep all the properties in your mind and then do try to solve the remaining questions. Now in your exercise question number 3, there is one transformation, that is, it is given that the determinant of a square a cube minus 1, b square b cube minus 1, c square c cube minus 1 is equal to 0. Now you have to show that ABC is equal to 1. Now let us assume this determinant value is A. So A is equal to determinant of this A square a cube minus 1, b square b cube minus 1, c square c cube minus 1. Now again by using the property 6, here each entry in the third column C3, it is the sum of two terms, negative sign, that means it is plus minus 1. This can be written as this is the additive inverse. Negative sign means additive inverse. So this is can be written as a square a cube, b square b cube, c square c cube plus a square minus 1 b square minus 1 c square minus 1 by property 6. If each entry of any column is sum of two terms, then the determinant of that matrix can be written as the sum of the determinants of two terms. So this determinant can be written like this. Now from first determinant, you can see each element in the first row having a common term A. Each entry in the second row having common term B, and each entry in the third row having common term C. So you can take A common from R1, B from R2, C from R3. So after taking out A, B, C common from R1, R2, R3 respectively, we have ABC And then the remaining term, when we are taking form 1a, so it will be 1a square, 1b square, 1c square. Negative sign take outside, it will be a square 1, b square 1, c square 1. Now this determinant, we have to make these two determinants same so that we can take this common. So to make it identical with this determinant, just do interchange the first column C1 and C2, C1 and C3. First interchange C1 and C3. That means we are interchanging two columns, that is C1 and C3. So its determinant value will be negative of this determinant. That means there will, for one jump, there is a negative sign. So we are interchanging this. After interchanging, it will become a positive, and it is 1 1 1 a square s b square c square a b c. Now again you can see that if there is another jump, then it will be identical with this determinant. So there, for another jump, there will become again a negative sign. It was positive, and for interchanging C2 and C3, there is again a negative sign. So it will be negative of 1. And it is 1a square, 1b square, 1c square. Now this determinant and this determinant are same. So we take common, and the remaining term are abc minus 1. So abc minus 1. Now it is given that this determinant value is equal to 0. That means this is equal to 0. We are considering this as a, and this determinant reduced to this form, into this form. So abc minus 1, it is given that a equal to 0, that means abc minus 1, and this determinant is equal to 0. So product of two terms, so either this number is equal to 0 or this equal to 0. Now if we are considering this equal to 0, what will happen? Suppose 1a square, 1b square, 1c square, then this can be written as, again we are uh, transforming this determinant by some elementary transformation rule, that is by those properties. That now we are changing R1, the first row, as R1 minus R2, and the second row R2 as R2 minus R3. After applying this transformation, we are having this determinant 0, R1 minus R2, that is 1 minus 1, 0, A minus B, 0. Sorry, A minus B, and then A square minus B square. Okay. Again, R2 is getting changed, R2 minus R3. So there is change in R1 and R2. So R1, we have done R2, R2 minus R3, that is 1 minus 1, 0, B minus C, and then B square minus C square. So R2. There is no change in R3, so write it as 1C C square. Now from R1 and R2, you can see there is a common term A minus B, because if we write A square minus B square as A minus B into A plus B, so in the first row there is a common term A minus B, because the third term is 0. That is why we can take A minus B common from R1 and B minus C common from R2. So the remaining term will be 0, 1, and it will be A plus B, 0, 1, B plus C, and 1C, C square. Now when in the first row there are 2, 0, now we can expand this determinant easily along C1. If we expand this along C1, we will get this value A minus B, B minus C, and C minus A. Now if A minus B, B minus C, C minus A equal to 0, then what will happen? Either A equal to B or B equal to C or C equal to A. But it cannot be possible. If A, B, C will be 0, then this determinant value will obviously be equal to 0. So this is not possible. So this cannot be 0. It means you are having this term equal to 0, ABC minus 1 equal to 0. Okay, we have discussed here now. The either ABC minus 1 equal to 0 or this equal to 0. Since this cannot be equal to 0, so ABC minus 1 equal to 0. That means ABC is equal to 1. That means you have to use all those property in solving this type of um, transformation. We'll discuss the remaining properties, remaining questions in the next lecture. So thank you for watching my videos. Okay.